he championed for me to get into that Snoop world in 2008. He's like, man, this kid's from Compton, he's dope. Let him get over here. And then Snoop at that time was TV shows, movies, this and that. He's like, all right, cuz, throw him over in there. Let's see what he do. And then I got a chance to be a part of creating 4 to 5 records for the project.
Big Boys Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the neighborhood, man. Do I call you Jason or do I call you Problem? That's the first question I have for you.
Jason Martin.
Jason Martin.
All one name.
Hey, man, so Jason Martin, right? And that's the way, even our last couple texts, I was like, damn, I put Problem in there because I had been putting Jason Martin.
Cool. You can call me Problem. It's love. It's love.
But why not the name switch, but why go back to Jason Martin when we got so used to, as an entertainer, as a performer, as a business person, we got used to Problem.
Yeah, I think just at this stage in my life, my career, and just personally, physically, mentally, spiritually, I just think it's really, really doing it injustice calling myself Problem still.
Right.
But I'm really more solution based than anyway.
Yeah.
And if you really think about it, and I'm just at a new phase, and I'm just taking it back to the future. Jason created Problem. If you really want to think about it.
Hey man, were you ever concerned, Jason Martin, about like the equity that you had in that? Because even with me, man, I make these life decisions, even with leaving the last station.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I got so much equity in that. You know, are people going to follow along with me? How long do you think before you say, man, I got to let Problem go and pick up Jason Martin?
Well, I actually have been thinking about doing this since 2017.
Yeah.
I had a talk with 2 Chainz about it, and he kind of like, man, you should go for it. Then I got talked out of it by the homies or whatever. But I just think it's time, bro.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes you just gotta just hit the button. You can't be afraid.
Like, and when would you have?
You said what?
If you didn't now, when?
It's no time like the present. I got my daughter just graduated from college. I got another one in 2nd year of college. I just don't think it's responsible.
Are you coloring your beard?
Nah,
oh, okay.
I mean, you know, like I said, I'm living. I mean, I'm proud of them.
Right.
So they keeping me together.
Yeah, man.
But
I'm proud of mine, and I'm getting torn apart over here.
But the business of it is just like, okay, what's better than one apartment building, 2?
Right.
It's still monetizing. I still make money with my same team. You know what I'm saying? So it's no problem.
Really though, when we go into the album as well, man, and not to say the album feels different.
Yeah.
And was that on purpose? And the title of the album is
I Owe Myself.
Right. Yeah. So totally. Why the title?
Like I said earlier, I've been very solution based. I help a lot of people.
Right.
I've been basically spearheading a lot of different other people's ideas. Mm-hmm. This is the first time I said, you know what? I'm gonna do this exactly the way I want to do it. From the producers I pick, from the videos I pick, from the times I record, the people I involve, I'm going to do this exactly the way I've always wanted to do it. I got caught up in being very successful very fast. Mm-hmm. And you know, when that happens, it's like, oh, damn, I got to make the next hit. I got to make this next record.
Searching
they
for
want me like this, but I'm changing, but my what's the word I'm looking for? My moniker is Problem.
Right,
party and loud, but again, I'm raising babies. I have real daughters. I'm raising women. So I had to make the switch. I owe myself. I owe my family. I owe Martin, the Martin name, my family tree, to really start building on that.
And it's not like you got to build it all again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you.
But it's kind of like that. I didn't know it was going to be this tough with all like the digital stuff, the streaming stuff, the DSP stuff. Like, it's really tough. Like, I have a real credit score under Problem.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have my new distributor that's like, wow, is this going to be tough? We can't utilize this million people that you already have monthly. So it's not connected.
It's not like, oh, okay, we just changed something up and it's all.
Yeah, we have to connect it. So that's why you saw me leak a couple of records just to kind of get it going. Like now there's a Jason Martin Spotify. There's a Jason Martin Apple. Everything had to literally digitally get changed over.
And all that got to build up for Jason Martin. It's not like when you change your Instagram name.
No.
And it's like, oh, I kept my followers.
You got to start straight from scratch. But I have some smart people with me, some very, very smart people. So what we did was attach the Problem name on the back end.
Right.
So when you look up Problem and you Google Problem, Jason Martin pops up now.
Right. Because even when you had sent it to me, it was like Jason Martin and Problem. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. I have to do that just for DSP purposes.
Right.
But I mean, it'll be foolish for me not to utilize the fan base I already built.
Does it make it hard or harder, or are you concerned about when you go to do a show? like you're not getting away from problem as far as like, man, I'm not gonna do any of the material.
Oh no,
Right.
man, shit, man, they're mine. Those are my records. No,
You're like Jason wrote those for problem.
It says Jason Martin written by on there.
Right.
So those are my records. I'm gonna perform them till it's over. But as far as like putting out material and that, moving forward, that's done. It's happened. And that will always be. You can definitely type in problem and go listen to all the records. They still monetize the same. They still come to the same bank account. So please don't. This is not like an F problem thing. This is not that. This is
yourself.
I feel like I put an extension cord on my career by doing it this way. And it actually has like fueled me in a way. But like I'm a brand new artist. Like, damn, I'm going through the same challenges that I did before. So
you welcome the challenge too, though.
Oh man, come on,
bro. Hey man, did you do like any therapy or because it seems like when I say growth, it seems like at one point we hear so much chatter, and you said at one point you was like, "Oh, I'm going to change," and then the homies kind of talked you out of it, and you listened to that, and they probably did that for you out of love, thinking that was the best thing for you.
Totally.
But also you get to this position where you're like, okay, when you say I owe myself, I got to do it. I got to do it my way.
Yeah.
And I got to step out on faith even if I can't see the whole staircase.
Yeah.
And those are like extremely grown people. And I don't mean grown by age, but grown in whatever intellectual, whatever it may be. Yeah. Those are different decisions.
Yeah.
Because we're easy with being in the soft spot, what's familiar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you stepped out of that.
Yeah. For a creative though, that gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I've been doing this, man, I've been blessed. I just saw a picture of me from 10 years ago out here. It's like, whoa, I've really been independently in this game for a very long time. And honestly, I needed this jolt. I needed a new challenge. You see I'm doing different things with the coffee and the coffee and Kush, but musically, I needed a challenge. And I just didn't, honestly, I didn't think that the music that I'm getting ready to put out would even feel right under the name Problem.
Right.
It's so different.
And when you say so different, man, just listening to the album, and like I did say, man, and when I say growth, I don't mean growth in a bad way. I'm talking about melodic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What the tones sound like, and not even to the point where Jason Martin or Problem, not even to like, man, what he doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay, this dude is creating music, like what's right for him.
Yeah.
And at one point, even with Problem, you created what was right for you, and we came along.
Right.
And I feel like this would be that same journey that nobody will abandon you because you didn't abandon us.
No, man, I thank you. I appreciate that. I want to coin the phrase that I used to make music for people that went to sleep at 5 a.m. Now I make it for people who wake up at 5 a.m.
I heard that.
So that probably should
Where's
make you
that
understand
go
it.
in your life though, man? Like, and when I was kind of touching on, was it therapy? Like, when do you arrive? Because this isn't just about music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is about the whole being. And then everything else that falls under there. You done mentioned your kids, dad, the relationships, the businesses, relationship with friends and us as, as spectators. Mm-hmm. So that right there, man, that's not just music. That's a life change.
Yeah. I just started talking about what was really going on in my mind as opposed to like, I got to make the hit record or I got to do this. I want to actually put together a project where I didn't mention how much money I had, how many women I'd been with, and all of this stuff that kind of fueled my past situation. You know what I mean? Less braggadocious. I feel like if anybody was to be able to show you that, no, there's real things going on in the world, it should be me. You know what I'm saying? I've lived an amazing life, a hard life, a tough life. And then with the pandemic going on, I lost a lot of friends. Well, I think we all did. You know what I'm saying? And then we got to see who actually was our family.
Yeah, man.
Once you get to only have to talk to a few 8 to 10 people, you kind of see everything.
Did you learn a lot during that time of the pandemic?
Oh, totally. You know what I'm saying? I got married. My kids started going to college. It was just a lot of different things started happening I just didn't see for me.
Did a lot of the clutter stop too? You know how when you're so caught up in something, and then that pandemic, it kind of made us sit down and listen. Yeah. Listen to the quiet. It was like, it was a different tone that you had to pay attention to, because also you probably, if the pandemic hit and there were no shows, there were no this, and we saw all that, you wouldn't have sat down for that long. Mm-hmm. If it was by choice.
Nah, man, I had a lot of the homies, man. They were like, man, what we gonna do, man? The tours, that. But for me, I've been independent. I've always had to throw my own tours. I've always had to put together my own projects. I've always had to shoot my own videos. To me, it was like a cakewalk.
Like this landed in your lap.
Man,
you was like, I did this.
This is easy.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, fellas. We just got to, you know what I mean? I talked a lot of my friends off the ledge, and I'm glad that now they're back outside and everybody's doing their thing. But yes, for the world to have to stop and pay attention to themselves and really view everything and like in a real spectrum, life or death. Who do you need to talk to?
Yeah.
Who
what
maybe
really
not
matters.
need to talk to anymore. You got to see a lot, and I think that spawned a lot of this movement with Jason Martin. I Owe Myself, Coffee and Kush, everything.
Hey man, so and I want to get back into I Owe Myself.
Yeah.
That when we say, oh, what's the album title? And you had a chance to explain it, but there is a lot that goes with I Owe Myself.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, man, we put ourselves in the backseat. Like we'll do more for others sometimes. Like, oh, I got you on that. I got you on that. I got you on that.
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was happening to you?
Totally. My whole life. I mean, my mom reminded me the other day, she said, you're one of the few people, like, you've never had a chance to not be an adult. The minute you turn 18, you have a child. Like, you've always had to take care of somebody your whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it. It just was something that was second nature to me.
Did you ever feel like, man, I got the blessing so I can share it with everybody?
I feel like that to this day. Like last night, it was like my birthday, and they were like trying to pay the bill, and I'm going over there trying to pay it. I'm like, because it's just like I feel like I'm ultra blessed, bro. Like I'm super blessed, and when you're blessed, you're supposed to give, and that's just how it works. So I feel like that's the seat that I've been sat in.
Who was that told me? Taker always take, because I'm a very giving person too, bro.
Kevin Gates?
Was that Kevin Gates?
Maybe.
Yeah. I'm a very giving person, and it's hard for me to say no. And you put people first, and that's why even when I saw the title, or when you say the title, it's like I owe myself. Like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, that intro every morning. I just play the intro.
Yeah,
like
that's a tone for the album as well. Just a lot like that's like meditation, damn near.
Totally.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, I feel like all of us owe ourselves something. We spent so much time trying to compete and compare. Mm-hmm. And it's only two things you really should be competing with: it's time and that mirror.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just kind of here.
Did you ever think about, because when it comes to this business as well, I mean, this business is fickle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Here today, gone tonight. People love you. They build you up to knock you down. At any point, also with the growth, bro, did you think maybe I don't want this?
Oh, yeah, I was done with this.
Yeah.
I was done with music. The whole point of setting up Coffee and Kush was so that I didn't have to depend solely on music.
I heard that.
And
explain what Coffee and Kush is.
Coffee and Kush is a brand and company that is really just what it is. It's like combining these two worlds that actually work very well together. Mm-hmm. During my growth, I would wake up every morning and walk to coffee shops. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. It's a whole world going on from 5 a.m. I just knew nothing about. Like, whoa, this is crazy. Then one day, this gentleman that looks like we would never know or talk to each other, he said, hey, man, what's that cologne you wearing? Because I'm smelling like, you feel me? Yeah. So I'm like, oh, yeah, I got some of this. We started smoking a joint, and we just started talking. And this was a very highly, highly, highly successful guy. So I just started noticing this world. Went to Amsterdam, saw this place of peace, where these people would just go, they get their coffee, they get their tea, and there was no VIP. You get your stuff, and you sit with people you don't know, and you just talk. I said, damn, I got to put this in L.A. If we get one of these in L.A., everything will be smooth. So Coffee, Kush, put it together and created this balance for me that I'm just noticing everybody kind of rocks with. So we have the Coffee and Kush mugs. We have the Coffee and Kush trucks in Frisco coming soon. We have the Coffee and Kush lounge. About 3 of them we getting ready to open up in California.
Dope.
So we're building it. But then doing that made us say, okay, all right, now I can come back to music. That's running. The foundation is set. And I just didn't want to get as famous as I was before and not have nothing to sell. I think last time that's what I went wrong. I was only selling music.
Right. But even when we sat down to talk about, just talk about us getting together, you was like, usually people like, Big, I'm ready, I'm in. You know what I'm saying? You was like, not yet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not yet. And I was like, man, I'm here. You was like, all right, not yet.
Not yet. Because what you don't want to do is waste the opportunity to talk to Big Boy.
Right.
Like I was telling them on the way here, this is not a regular situation that I can come in here and talk to something as massive as this whenever you want.
Appreciate it.
Like, that's crazy that people take a lot of these opportunities that come out here for granted. So for me, I'm like, hold on. We got album, we got things. I want when I go up there, my album to be coming out, the show at the Roxy, everything needs to be set up perfect so I don't waste these. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of great things on accident, I'll say. You know what I'm saying? God was just guiding me through the tornado.
Right.
This time I want to be far more intentional with every move I make.
Purpose.
Every move I make. And when you have friends like you and Dot, you don't just do it.
Right.
Nah, because those are not regular relationships.
Man, you talked about briefly, you said shows that's coming up. You about to do the Roxy?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Roxy May 25th.
Really
intimate.
though?
Yeah, I want to do something very intimate because you heard the album, so you kind of understand. I definitely will be performing the other records as well, but I'm going to do a live version of the album and record it. We're going to put that out too.
Damn.
Yeah.
And when you say live version, will you have a band that night too?
8-piece band. We actually got rehearsal tonight. It's gonna be crazy. I know my brother. I got some people coming out.
But
Terrace,
you weren't afraid of the band behind you anyway, because you know what I'm saying. Like this ain't the introduction.
I mean, you know what's crazy? I've done this with other artists. Like shout out to Dinner Party, Kamasi, Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin. They brought me out at their show at the Novo, and we did a jazz version of Like What. That's when I saw like, whoa, this thing could be crazy. But I had never done a show with a band.
Really though?
Nah.
So this is it.
This is gonna be the first one. Yeah.
Man, does it feel different when you go into like practice and rehearsals for this as opposed to what practice and rehearsals felt in the rearview mirror in days past?
Oh man, I can't wait to see. We're gonna see tonight. This is gonna be the first one.
Right. You're like, they ain't gonna hit you tomorrow.
But what I will say is during the album, you keep saying melodic, and I love that you're saying that. Yeah. The producers of this album, they're called the Melodiks. It's this group from LA. Yeah. It's this 8-piece band. And I got to go in there. We went in there. We did 4 sessions, and we did the whole album in 4 sessions.
You know what I love about the album, too, is it reminds me of quality.
Right.
Not quantity.
Right.
And by that, I mean, you look at albums now, and no disrespect to people that got to have the number, but when I look at something, I'm like, man, 20, 25 songs, 30, you know what I'm saying? Like with yours, what is it, a track of probably 10?
It's 10.
And but the way that it flows, and with 10, it's an easy repeat, and it's an easier way to fall in love with what you're listening to. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man. I thought, man, it was very risque to grab a new set of guys that don't have a track record, but that's what made it fun. You know what I'm saying? And what I did was Thriller, man. It only has 9 songs.
Right, yep. See? That's what
D'Angelo's album only has 10 songs. Like, these were the records I was listening to. Aquemini, Get Rich or Die Trying, like 14. Like, you kind of want to stay in what the greatest albums of all times have done and just kind of stay in that pocket.
Man.
So, yeah.
We here at 50 years of hip-hop, the 50th anniversary. When did you fall in love with hip-hop? Was hip-hop in your household?
Man, yes. You know, I'm from Compton.
Yeah,
so
hello.
3rd Avenue, man, we was in the heart of it in the 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It was all across the street. It was all over the place. I know what record made me fall in love with hip-hop.
What was it?
MC Breed, Ain't No Future in Your Front.
Really, though?
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Damn.
My mom used to play that all the time, and you should play This Is For La Raza.
Right.
This Is For La Raza, and Back to the Hotel.
In Too Deep.
And NWA.
I heard that.
That was...
So your mom, you know how some people say, oh, man, you know, my family, and pretty much we grew up on that, too. Yeah. But people say, oh, you know, Marvin Gaye, Temptations. You was like, nah, my mom was rocking
my mom told me when she was walking around, I was born in Germany, when she was walking around pregnant with me, she played The Rapper's Delight. That was her song because it was 10 minutes. So she knew if she played it twice, she got a mile in or something. Right,
yeah. She got a 20-minute walk.
So that's all I played was Rapper Delight while I was
You were
walking
born
around
in Germany?
Yeah, Wurzburg, Germany.
Really, though? It was somebody in the military?
My dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you can't even be president.
Cool.
he was like, Big, say less.
Say less. I don't want that smoke.
So hip-hop was in your household, and plus, man, just in the surroundings. Yeah,
man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
man. Eazy E, man, was coming up the street dealing with people I know. You know what I'm saying? Quik used to be like at Centennial, like, or at Dudos. Like, I was born in that part that ended up changing the world.
Did that feel like a pressure to you? Because Compton already had like an establishment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And did you feel like, man, I got to add to this?
Man, everybody want to play for the Lakers, man.
Right,
what you mean? Like, I want the pressure, bro. Like, you got to think, Compton is the Motown of this rap stuff,
Right,
brother.
say it.
Like to what the Bronx is to New York, that's what Compton is to out here. Yes, I want to be on that third or second half of that Mount Rushmore that's going on.
Where do you go from being a spectator, to saying this is what I want to do? Did you start writing early? Was it poetry? Was it?
Man, you know what's crazy? I used to play basketball all day. I thought at some point, and my dad's 6 feet. I thought at some point I was gonna grow. Didn't quite happen that way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I started having children, and then it was like, wait a minute, this is crazy. I can't really work. This is tough. I have to figure out something else.
There's real things
There's real things going on, and I was just like, I tried to get a regular job, and it just, my temperament and the way I was raised, is not that's not for me.
Right.
So I was like, man, I gotta try something. I just started rapping, started finding equipment and building studios, building speakers, and just putting these massive things together, and it just locking myself in the closet, figuring out how to work an MP, figuring out how to work Pro Tools, figuring out how to work ADATs, figuring out I would just sit there and
because
just mess with it all
you
day.
knew that certain things wasn't for you.
Right.
The 9 to 5, the getting up,
and
the
it's
strategic,
It's not even the getting up. It's just like,
but it wasn't for you.
You can't tell me that I gotta cut my hair because I work
Right.
at a shoe store. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Right,
Like
yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. And you can't tell me I can't have braids, but the woman clerk can. Like, this doesn't make sense.
Did you have any gigs before hip hop started making money for you? Music started making money for you?
I wouldn't call them gigs. I'll just say that
You ate.
I had to create my own forms
You
of
got to.
revenue.
And you've been doing it.
through street pharmaceuticals and things that people might have to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But I will say this: I've never sold anything I don't smoke. So we'll
that.
just
Okay.
say that.
All right, cool.
We'll do that.
She said that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We're good.
And from what I know, I don't think you smoke crack, right?
I do not.
Nobody
I've never.
Nobody ever.
I've seen it dealt, but I've never indulged.
I've never heard that.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
So you fall in love with hip hop because it's right there, damn near in the womb. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And then it's right there in the city. You start to feel like you could create it. Are there any, like, if we were to say the Mount Rushmore or influences, who influenced Jason Martin?
Jeez. Tupac, Eminem, Eazy E, DJ Quik, Dr. Dre, Biggie Smalls, ironically Wu-Tang, and Lil Wayne for sure. And Snoop Doggy fucking dog.
Right.
Oops, I mean, beat that out.
you
Sorry. Like the biggest influence is probably Snoop Dogg.
When did it start to feel like, man, these are my peers now?
Bruh, that was why. I mean, I want to say Terrace Martin, my brother, threw me in the den. Like, he championed for me to get into that Snoop world in 2008. He's like, man, this kid's from Compton. He's dope. Let him get over here. And then Snoop at that time was TV shows, movies, this and that. He's like, all right, cuz, throw him over in there. Let's see what he do. And then I got a chance to be a part of creating 4 to 5 records
Hey, dude, that's
for the
what
project.
That's another thing that people don't know as far as, like, what you've done with your pen as well.
Yeah.
Like, you've been in there. You've been in the workshops.
But that was probably like one of those last big budget albums too. So in one studio, it was me, DJ Quik, Terrace, and then we would have to go to the other studio. It was me, Terrace, Teddy Riley. Another studio was me, Terrace, Raphael Sadiq. Another studio, like, he had this 5 studio thing going on where we would have to just stop by one each day and, like, just put in music and put in ideas. But during that 6 months, I still utilized every contact that I got during that first 6 months.
Why is it so important? At one point, people was like, man, I got to get on this label. I got to get on this label. Now people are like, I don't want to be on that label.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I hate to say I told you so.
Yeah.
But
but to some people, independent was like, oh, man, they independent because they can't get a deal. Independent's a graveyard.
Yeah.
And now people see like, ooh, I don't want this deal.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that the deal I got, from that relationship, I was able to get a single deal, and I saw how it worked. It was too much like auditioning.
Right.
It's like, if I'm good enough to get this money, why do I keep having to impress you guys? This doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? When I can take the same amount of money and just do what you guys are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
like,
yeah.
I had sold on the streets hand-to-hand CDs. We sold about 25,000 CDs,
Right.
like hand-to-hand. Like we had a real
So
six.
you saw the money.
Yes, we had a 6-man team that was, if I was engineering, it was 4 people out. We would swap out. And this is how we fed 5 families.
And you didn't have to wait. Like, and it's another thing when somebody tell you what your single should be.
Right.
When is it going to drop? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a lot that comes with that.
Right.
You know, and then you put your blood, sweat, and tears together and you hand it to somebody. You're like, man, I did my job. Now you do yours.
And then they say, well, yeah, it's cool, but it ain't reacting.
Yeah.
You like, no, you not reacting. You better get out here and get to it. Because I done played this thing in front of all these women and all these dudes in here, and it goes crazy every time I play it.
Yeah, man.
You know what
so
I'm saying?
it's one thing to own your, but it's another thing when you own your successes as well.
Man, it's
and give it all to me.
I will say, man, for us to take the journey independent, and I want to say, thank you, with like what. Doing what it's done, and now to be mentioned in one of the top 100 best West Coast songs.
Man, I
Stones.
saw that,
History
bro.
was amazing to see as an independent company.
And it's been
crazy to feel, bro. Like, whoa.
It's been a lot of songs released on the West Coast,
Bruh.
bro. And to be a part of that list,
Bruh.
and
I
not
still
having that machine where somebody's saying, oh, yeah, make this number. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bruh, you got to think, man. Like, you know, me and 40 was on the phone talking about the list and just like, it was just crazy to be a part of that fraternity. And again, these lists are, I want to say to everybody, they're opinion-based. They're not fact. So everybody who ain't on it, that doesn't mean your song's not top 100. This is not that. This is just that list. And I'm just glad that I got a chance to have a moment on it.
Yeah, man. Don't run from the love, bro.
Come on, I'm not. I'm just, but I'm just telling the hate. Don't play with me, nigga. It's my turn. Let me have my fun right now.
There it is, man. So problem. Let me tell you, man.
Thank you, brother.
I'm sitting here talking with you, right? And get all the B-roll on this too. I'm sitting here talking with you. X keep coming to the window. He keep holding up this sign. I'm like, man, what is that sign? What is that sign? And he's holding this up to me, to the window. And it says, Big, ask him about the gloves. So, hey, man. So what's going on with the race car gloves, man? Hey, man, is there something I don't know?
Maybe he came in on a bike or something.
Man, no, something going on, man.
No, every time I walk in the studio, I have these on. Yeah, I think you just had a fight. What you doing?
Yeah.
What's happening? He came on the bike.
Man, dog.
Yeah. He like straight from the gym, or he like, man, I don't know what, Big be crazy. He probably had you bench pressing all kind of shit in there. I don't know what's going on.
The glove. This nigga's crazy.
Hey, man, and look at his penmanship. He writes so well.
Oh, he does amazing.
Man, I was like,
I can tell you been doing this a while.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, man, he said, ask them about the gloves. And not only that, he signed it. You know what I'm saying? Just so no one get it twisted where it came from. He put it, and my man put Big, comma, Big, comma, ask him about the gloves. You know what I'm saying? X, did you write this? Oh, man. He put the comma on there. Like, Big, comma. That motherfucker was about to work in semicolons and everything. And it was like a demand. He put 2 exclamation points. Like, when he first came up, he just said, Big, ask him about the gloves. The second time he came up, it had an exclamation point.
Oh, shit.
Then the third time, he was like, Big. Like, what the fuck? You do all these interviews? Ask him about them gloves. He was like, man, that's going to be the first in the comments, man. Why is this dude wearing gloves? Like, man, hell yeah. He got a Mazda RX-7 downstairs. Like, shit.
Oh, shit,
yeah, man.
This motherfucker wrote this shit on.
Yeah, he wrote it down and he was adamant like... like that was his purpose for coming down. Like, man, now I know why the Lord sent me down there. You know what I'm saying? He texted me. He was like, man, Big, do I need to go get some gloves? I was like, nah, man, it's a gloveless interview.
Ask about the fucking gloves.
Yeah. He was like, every time he come in the studio, he was like, man, he was like, do it. And you see, he was like, man, he was like, Tato, you owe me $10. I told you. Like I told you he was gonna be wearing them gloves. Give me my $10 right now, player. and a plate.
He said, man, he just started wearing them.
Yeah. My man,
Bro, we been working
Jason
on his
got
album,
up.
so I pull up and I have these on, but you can see his face is like, is he tripping?
He was like, man, this dude got on some gloves, an Averex jacket, some Pele jeans. like this dude done went back.
And we bringing it back to the future,
Yeah,
baby.
as we should.
It's kind
Like,
of
man,
true.
he was like, man, if it worked once, it'll work twice.
Come on, man.
You know what
Come
I'm
on.
saying? Like,
Well, there's
yeah.
there's two reasons for the gloves. Okay, Eazy E is a picture in your studio with Eazy E with these same gloves on. One, and then two, my stepfather, he had this 911 Porsche, right? So we get in the car, he put these fucking gloves on, and we be riding. If I do good or something that day, he'll take one off and be like, and so he'll let me like do the stick. And so it was like,
man,
all right.
you done took everything out of that. Sorry about that, man. Hey, man, he done fucked that up for us.
Sorry.
Yeah, man.
He wasn't enough.
Hey,
That's what I had him.
it's obvious X. We're going to have to clown him out of his presence. We got to out of his presence now because he done brought that shit home.
That's a beautiful story, dog.
I'm like, man.
But yeah, you didn't know that, Officer Eazy E has these gloves on when he's
Man.
sitting there. Yeah.
I remember riding with my dad. No, I don't remember nothing with my dad.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, okay, I was about to start lying. Man, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to make it up. You know what I'm saying? I remember my dad. No, I don't.
That's when I know I was all right. I did something that day. Take like,
Yeah.
shit.
Hell yeah.
Like, hitting the one, hitting the two.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Definitely want to thank you for coming into the neighborhood, man. Shout out to Mr. X to the Z Xzibit as well, man.
Come on, man.
Xzibit done came up in here too. And then when they see Xzibit's interview as well, they're going to be like, man, he wearing the same thing? No, we did it the same day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Man, shout out to Xzibit too. He has an amazing project on the way.
I should know. I wrote it.
Yeah,
You know
was
what
there.
I'm
I
saying?
forgot.
Oh my God, man! You know how we get down. You know how sometimes we don't even want credit for what we do.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm starting to take credit for what I do with
man.
X.
You owe yourself.
Yeah, there it is. I owe myself. No, but thank you for coming into the neighborhood, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing you. Thank you for sharing your journey. And album wise, when is it like available?
May 12th.
May 12th. All right, so we right here.
Let's
Best
rock.
believe that, man. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man. And I can't wait to see what's going on with this next phase of your journey.
Man, thank you.
Jason Martin in the neighborhood, man. Big Boys neighborhood.